Thanks for tuning into No Wine in No Time. I'm your host Dave, and as promised, today is the day of the harvest in this vineyard. And here, it's truly a family affair. We have cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, everybody participating in the harvest. And myself and my wife got to come along too. We have our forbice. This is scissors that we use to cut the grapes off the vines. Now, I'd mentioned before, in this part of Campania, Italy, the slopes are fairly steep, and we do 100% hand harvesting. Now, we do that hand harvesting so that these grapes that we've picked are at the peak of ripeness and there are no defects with them. So think of a machine that harvests grapes. You're going to pick everything from ripe grapes to unripe grapes to stems to leaves, birds' nests, and lizards. All those type of things. When we pick these grapes bunch by bunch, we assure that everything in the back of this trailer is of the highest quality. And the only time this tractor and trailer are used is to actually when we bring the grape vats up from the actual vineyard. So I talked about the forbice. So when we look at grapes, it's very important when we see a bunch of grapes and look at its overall quality. So we look at this bellissimo, beautiful grapes. No mold, no mildew, no dried grapes. So when we pick these grapes, they're perfect and ready to go into our bins. However, today we picked two different types of grapes. We picked Pedro Rosso and we also picked Aglianico. Pedro Rosso, the bunches of grapes are much tighter together, almost like Pinot Noir. And when we look at that, the spacing in between the grapes being so tight, they're a little more subject to mold and mildew. So this is where the forbice comes in again. So if we grab a bunch of grapes, these are the Pedro Rosso, and you see how tight they are. It's probably not a good camera angle, but if we see a little bit of mold, we just take and we remove those grapes from our bunch, and now we're left with beautiful, healthy grapes that'll make the highest quality wine. Let's also talk about either Aglianico or Pedro Rosso on the rows on the very edge of the vineyard. When we look at that, they tend to get a little bit more sun than the ones that are in the other rows. So with those, sometimes those grapes, if we wait till later to harvest them, they can be a little bit dry. So if we take those grapes, we have a beautiful bunch of grapes, but with some dried grapes in there in between. We take our forbice, we cut out the dried spots, and now we are left with beautiful, healthy grapes that'll make exceptional wine. So when you think about all this, it seems so easy to just take modern technology, run it through these vineyards, and pick everything with a machine. But if we look at how the old world does things, and we think about the quality of the wine they're producing, there really is no other option. The slopes are steep, the rows are narrow, and the grapes are abundant. So we need to really go through them and make sure we're picking the highest quality grapes. So the next stop for these bunch will be in our actual winery, where we're going to take these grapes, we're going to crush them, we're going to put them into fermentation tanks, we're going to pump over, and eventually they'll get aged for long-term wine consumption. So I ask that you stick along with us and come back next time, because soon you'll know wine in no time.